How's it going, everyone? Another top 30 visit for the Packers, and this one's going to be an edge rusher out of Oregon in Jordan Burch. So Jordan Burch is currently the 15th best edge rusher in this year's draft and is currently ranked 72nd overall out of all the players on the consensus draft board. Currently, he does not have a RAS score as he did not participate in enough to produce one. So what we do know, he comes in at a height of 6'4" and weighs 279 pounds and ran the 40-yard dash in 4.67 seconds. So a pretty good 40-yard time. Out of all the edge rushers, he did post the sixth best 40-yard time at 4.67 seconds, with the fast one being James Pierce Jr. with that 4.47 second 40-yard time. Now, for his time at the collegiate level, he spent 5 years in college. The first 3 years he played at South Carolina, then transferred over to Oregon. So in his first 3 years at South Carolina, he played in 34 games total, had 105 total tackles, 14 tackles for loss, and 4.5 sacks and 1 interception. Transferred to Oregon, and then in his first year at Oregon, played in 14 games, had 34 total tackles, 8 tackles for loss, and 3 sacks. And then in his final year, played in 10 games due to the fact he missed 4 games total due to injury, 3 due to a knee injury, and 1 due to an ankle injury. So 4 games total. So had 31 total tackles, 11 tackles for loss, and 8.5 sacks. So a pretty productive final year for him. Now, over on the PFF side for his grades, looking at his time just at Oregon, in his first year at Oregon, had a 73.1 defensive grade, a 76.7 run defensive grade, 88.6 tackling grade, and a 61.7 pass rush grade. Then in his final year, 77.6 defensive grade, 68 run defensive grade, 82.4 tackling grade, and 81.3 pass rush grade. He was accounted with 27 total pressures over there in his first year at Oregon, and 32 total pressures in his final year at Oregon. And in both years, he only missed 1 tackle. So very good tackling from him. And to also add to it, for his final year at Oregon, he had a pass rush win rate of 15.7. So a pretty good pass rush win rate from him. Now, for some of the pros for him, he has great size for an NFL defensive end, quick to shoot his hands as a run defender, and has good strength at the point of attack to get extension against offensive tackles to help set the edge. Consistent at staying in his gap against base or reach blocks from offensive linemen. Physical and takes on pullers with good pad level to either spill runs outside or be an effective force player. Has solid cross chop and dip moves to win around the edge, paired with decent bend for his size. Good motor and recognition to get coverage sacks when the quarterback steps up in the pocket. Solid agility and acceleration to get pressure as the looper in line games. And gets his hands up to bat passes at the line of scrimmage when he doesn't win as a pass rusher. Now, as for some of the cons for him, subpar get off, often late to react to the snap, and doesn't explode off the line of scrimmage, which impacts his ability to win with power as a pass rusher. Slow run pass transitions against play action, often gets stuck at the line of scrimmage. Lacks some twitch as a pass rusher and is an average overall athlete, which could limit his ability to win consistently in the NFL. Occasionally gets caught with wide hand placement as a run defender, allowing offensive linemen to get into his chest, and not violent when shedding blocks and often gets stuck. And so he's mainly projected to go in day 2 in the 3rd round. He could slide to round 4, but it's less likely. He's most likely going to go in round 3. Had a pretty good productive year, has the athleticism, but his pass rushing has something left to be desired. Where his bread and butter probably will be in the run defense. That is something the Packers are still going to have to replace in the fact because we lost TJ Slayton. So I can see why the Packers could potentially go down this route in round 3. In pass rushing, could be a liability. Definitely needs to be coached up. But with his athleticism, it doesn't take it out the realm of possibility. But definitely has a more developmental route when it comes to pass rushing. Now, of course, I feel like I say this at every video. It's going to be dependent on where the Packers draft. Based off where we are today and probably in previous videos of where I was at, it seems like edge rusher is definitely going to be the number one. I feel like it's going to be the number one position of need. Cornerback was kind of up there, but due to the fact it seems like Jair Alexander is like him staying is becoming more of a possibility. That kind of drops the need for that position. Now we have wide receiver, not an entire big as need, but I think it's still a big need. That starts competing at the number 2 most, or our biggest need in this year's draft. Currently on the consensus draft board, we could go with Emeka Egbuka. If we did that, then I could see the Packers. They're going to double dip on one of these positions. And I think edge rusher is going to be one of those positions where they double dip. I wouldn't be shocked if somehow, or the Packers decide to, if we go 3 and pick him up, and then if we go later in 5 and pick up another player, or around 6. But especially with how deep this draft class is with edge rushers, I feel like number 1 and 2, they're going to try to get a wide receiver, and who knows, they could surprise us with another offensive lineman just for depth purposes, even though it's not a complete need. Jordan Burch is probably a player I would have on my radar just because of his, not expertise, but he's very good in the run defense. And it's something the Packers need to figure out, because right now I think that is a hole amongst that defensive line with Jordan or TJ Slayton gone from this team. But let me know what you think down in the comments. If you liked the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and as always, go Pack Go.